Furious Heights.
And we had a chance to actually play on this map pool.
Final map with Elder, not Furious Heights, just being told.
Interesting. I like the fact that Elder's here. I know we've had a lot of opportunities to look at this map pool over the last few events with the Road to QuakeCon and everything. We had another opportunity to see Rapha and Dehang duel the Sunday prior to QuakeCon in just a little bit of a show match. It was a rather fun series, actually. It was 3-2 Rapha. He was doing quite well.
Yeah.
And actually, Lost World was a lot closer than I expected it to be against Rapha. We'll have to see how he does there today.
Having spoken to Zorak, though, he's not very comfortable about Lost World. He thinks that might be a blowout, but he actually sounds very confident about
Rapha's kind of carved his name into that map over the course of the years. You know, it's definitely his turf.
Zorak says that Rapha sucks on Sinister, so he should get the win. In his own words.
Well, this is going to be our first map.
And not in like a bullying or hostile way, but he's.
And we have Elder coming in as the newcomer in this series. And again, I like the fact that it was released significantly before QuakeCon. It wasn't one of those, hey, we're putting this map into the pool 2 weeks before QuakeCon sort of thing, which is nice.
That was definitely time for people to practice.
And people are digging
very far ahead.
But there's still a very fresh meta. There's still a lot of ways to play Elder. There's still a lot of tricks and traps being discovered.
Yep.
So we'll see how it goes today.
No, exactly. I think Zorak is very much known for his just ability to time 4 items on a map seamlessly. You have people who will time the Mega and the Red, and then they'll be able to kind of get a gist for when the rotation on the yellows are.
He lost his calling as a Warsaw player. Yeah.
Zorak actively times 4 items.
Yeah.
You know, he's thinking about all of the numbers, which is also part of his downfall because he has a very item-heavy focus on the game. Whereas Rapha is far more, even though he's very good at timing the 2 major items and rotating around the yellows, he's also thinking about the player a lot. He's got years more experience than Zorak. Zorak's played Quake Live for 3 years, I believe, with no previous Quake experience.
He's catching up.
Yeah.
He's making up for lost time, surely.
In terms of QL ranks ranking, or ELO, he's one of the top in North America at the moment. Yeah. But it's that kind of experience that he has. He did go to the LAN last year. He came to QuakeCon 2014, as you mentioned earlier. I had an okay showing. But this is actually a very interesting first round to have. If Zorak gets the win here, I wonder what kind of confidence that would give him. Or even just a single map win on LAN against Rapha is a solid performance.
If his statements about Sinister hold out, we'll see.
But he is definitely good there. I just hope that he's able to sort of think outside of the items.
Right.
And Rapha, that's something that Rapha's been telling him is like, man, you only focus on the items. And
so if Rapha loses today, he has nobody to blame but himself.
Well, Zorak said that he learned a lesson from Rapha about that. Even though it took him way too long to learn that lesson, maybe we're going to see that impact his game now.
Well, either Zorak will show that he's learned the lesson already, or Rapha will teach him some new ones today.
Yeah. I mean, something interesting will happen regardless.
And because of the format, we're actually going to be seeing all 3 maps regardless. So we do have technical tiebreakers just because these point scores and map scores matter so much. But we're going to be seeing all 3 maps each series no matter what. And I think in the later rounds, we're actually going to be dividing our matches up so that some players can have a break and maybe go get a chocolate bar or something in the middle of the day. And it means we get to cover more matches.
Yeah, exactly. We will get more games. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some players in to help us casting with the Duel, because this has not been really possible for the last couple of days, because obviously all the games going on simultaneously. Players are constantly occupied, but we're hoping that during the Duel,
a hardcore series.
We hope that during the Duel we'll be able to get a couple of players up. I know I was speaking to Demon last night who would like to show his face on stream. I don't know if Strengths would like to come on, but there'll be someone who'd be interesting to kind of prod and hope to get on. And maybe Fear, someone like that, would like to come on and cast some American players playing.
They're finally able to remove themselves from that room for just a little bit. The pressure's off for those guys. But we're going to tell these guys that we are set here on Sinister. And good pick on this one. This is going to be
well, it was such a tough pick, actually, because there was Destruct going up against Cypher as well, and people have been saying that Destruct is playing pretty well. I saw him playing a practice against Dehang, and he was 5-0 up on a map, which he did eventually lose. And I saw him playing against Dehang a lot, but he was largely losing the games, and this kind of the results that Zorak had versus the other players kind of swung it for me, as well as the matchup itself. But guys, we're going live right now. It's QuakeCon 2015. It is day 3 on the Duel, and I'm on Zorak here as he's on his map pick. It's Sinister, and he's he takes his time getting over to the red. He's just making sure, okay, we haven't got any scary spawns to watch out for, and now the clock in his mind is, well, ticking away.
I already kind of like that already. He didn't walk into what easily could have been a full head-on collision at that yellow armor. He kind of backed off, but now he kind of needs to figure out where he wants to be after that. Taking a position on the top yellow, he makes sure that the rail is safe before diving in for it. So he's only got one red out of this. He's definitely giving Rapha a lot of the upper hand in terms of area control, but he's playing very conservatively so far.
I think if Zorak can play a slow game, he's going to walk into some rockets straight away. Rapha doing loads of damage. Zorak does get away with some stack, but you can see at the nice health bars we got at the top in this new spec head that Zorak has definitely got some catching up to do, as Rapha is near enough 200 at this point.
And we're not going to be seeing that Mega come up for a little bit, so missing that rail from Zorak is actually going to put him on a rather intense back leg right now. You can tell that he's not really sure where he needs to be in order to get a real advantage. He's staying safe at the moment, but again, Rapha kind of has full domination of the map right now.
And Zorak is just chilling. There's 4 items. Hey. Oh my god, Rapha, there's some great rockets actually from Zorak. He takes next to no damage, but Zorak actually doesn't have timing on the lower yellow, so he's kind of stuck as to what he should be doing.
He had an opportunity to do damage on that red as well and kind of follow up that line. Nice rail on Rapha there, but he's got a lot to make up for not having gotten any major items over the last minute.
Very nice Zorak zooming in for that angle. And he's not taking damage at the moment, he's only dealing damage, which this is good news. So even though Zorak is heavily out of control, he's not making Rapha feel too comfortable.
So another quiet moment here as he essentially gives Rapha these items, but look at this, he's just kind of baiting Rapha into these shots, and again, Rapha has a lot of stack to spare, and he's going to be taking these items at will. And I don't really know if this is going to turn into a victory for Zorak in terms of the first frag, but
that was very clever from Rapha just saying he didn't take the yellow because Zorak was assuming that he'd have to wait for the Q, and I think that totally threw him off. He lost so much stack. Rapha will get the first frag. Playing nice mind games. The red has been stolen. This should be another kill, and I think Zorak really wanted to steal another yellow, which would have been very helpful, but wow, okay, Rapha getting damage right off the spawn. There's no yellow down there, so this could be another kill.
That was an impressive first minute out of Zorak, just not giving away that frag for free, but all Rapha really needed to do was corner him once, and he wouldn't have anything to bring to that fight. And now we're starting to see Rapha cycle not only the items, but Zorak's face.
Yeah. I want to go on back to that first frag where, well, we're not going to be allowed to because Zorak's just going to be crumbling apart here. Machine gun is going to be a frag, and Zorak letting this game slip away, maybe feeling the pressure a bit. This is where Rapha brings that kind of LAN experience, showing that maybe those games online were a bit more testing for Zorak rather than Rapha. But yeah, that first frag where Rapha goes up the bounce pad without taking the yellow, Zorak assumed that that sound cue would go off before he went up, so he just lost so much damage, so much health immediately, and he wasn't able to back up the way he would have had he heard the yellow being taken.
And now we have Rapha just soaking up all the armor in the world, just about 200 right now, and he's kind of daring Zorak to show up at this red and look for some pot shot damage. Zorak is once again going into hiding, but he's going to need to do a lot more of what he was doing in that first minute to make Rapha feel it.
Yeah, this is a pretty nasty comeback for Zorak to make already, and Rapha's just laying so many traps. He's not going to chase for the frag at the moment. Zorak is incredibly weak. Is he going to try and cut him off? Oh, yeah, looks like it.
He knows that he's kind of bullying Zorak out with these items, and he can take a lot of these for free now.
Just checking the landscape, seeing if Zorak will poke his head out. Bounce pad used by Zorak, more LG damage. Rapha does fall down, so Zorak will be allowed to survive for maybe seconds longer.
I don't know, he's definitely on tilt here. He's only at 50 health. He's looking for something to grab. That Y is going to be up, and he's finally going to be able to get himself a little bit of an edge there. But he cannot afford to be trading rails right now.
Rapha is on a mission at the moment. He's playing tremendously well. The thing is, Zorak relies on getting item control. If he can't get into control, then I don't know what he's able to do. He needs to be able to cycle 4 items on the map. He needs to have access to all the weapons. He is cripplingly low. I think he's on about 55 health or something.
At the moment, it looks like Zorak was, ooh, nice LG out of Zorak there, but it looks like he's considering these items to be, like you said, a 4-item set. He's not really guarding these yellows in exchange for the Mega and the red at this point. As Rapha's getting away with those as well. Taking a look here so far, we've got 15 yellows for Rapha and only 6 for Zorak, and by rights he should be picking up a lot more.
He keeps hitting rails. That was very nicely done by Zorak, but I don't think he's going to be able to get into the red in time. He can see it. He's trying to do a little bit of damage, but he's going to have to back off. So unfortunately, all the pressure that Zorak just laid down has kind of gone to waste, but that's a good sign that Zorak's aim has improved since last year, and that maybe if we can string together another few rails, maybe next time it'll turn into a kill.
He's been able to make these hits happen, but they kind of rely on him not getting into these close-range fights against Rapha directly.
Oh, that rocket was excellent. But again, can he hold on to red?
Well, he's slowly taking down Rapha, but that was an opportunity to maybe throw another rail on that red armor. Allowing Rapha to get back up to 200-200 essentially just means that all that work that Zorak put into the last couple minutes goes to waste.
He wants to push to the choke point. Zorak, can you get away from this? He's absolutely not. 5-0 now. Zorak with the fresh spawn. He's got to do some work, get some weapons. Is he even able to keep an eye on the timings? Oh, that rocket.
And the timings for Zorak are especially important right now because this is a map that allows you to ambush the Mega and the Red pretty effectively, but you need to be there to do it.
And this is Rapha saying, I know when the items are up, but you know what? I'm not taking the items as soon as they spawn. I'm playing around them. You're expecting me to take the items, but it's just not happening that way.
So we finally have Zorak taking away his first Mega on the map. There it is. So that's going to give him a little bit of an edge. None of these grenades really connect, though. Rapha's still looking for the rail on the drop, and Zorak is just going to be on the run now. Zorak is only really a couple more rails to bringing things back together, but like you said, Rapha, every time that Zorak thinks he's going to be either at the red or at the yellow, he's just taking a more advantageous angle. But he traded off one rail on that play for red at least, and Zorak still technically got it. If he can get a few 25s and a 50 by the rocket launcher, even though that would be really dangerous considering Rapha's position right now.
There's about 150 armor for Zorak right now.
Yeah. He's doing the damage. He's just not able to kind of seal the deal and eventually win these items off of Rapha.
His rails are good. He needs to hit one more and he can get himself the kill. Rapha does not pick up the red armor. He's just going to escape. Zorak, pretty helpless, but his armor is immense at the moment. No 50 for Zorak. A bit of a pain for him, but actually we might have control for Zorak properly for the first time in the game. LG, Zorak, he needs to commit. He needs to hit a rail and he's going to land it. He's on the board, but with only 2.5 minutes left, this is going to be tricky for him.
This is a tough map to get conversion frags on, and Rapha's a tough player to get conversion frags on for sure. So now that Zorak can run around with a little bit of a stack, it might be difficult to catch Rapha in a corner, but that's exactly what he does, getting stuck on the geometry, nailing him against the wall with the LG. Now Zorak has only 4 frags to make up in half as many minutes.
I think he just heard the yellow get taken as well, so he has got timing on all 4 items on the map. I can guarantee you that right now. The players can't see the item timers on the slide, so they're calculating it all in his head, and Zorak loves doing maths while he's playing Quake.
Absolutely. So now he's got that full 200-200 stack. Now he just needs a fight where he can leverage that against Rapha and steal away a yellow armor as well. You can see the excitement in his movement right now as he's just looking for this opportunity, and Rapha just cannot deal with that, rocket up the jump pad. 2 frags. He's closing the gap.
He's made a phenomenal comeback so far, and he's actually given himself loads of time to get the remaining 2 items. But he's got to make sure he can cycle pretty much everything.
The only worry I have right now is that Rapha can kind of disappear at will. Maybe not. Zorak finds him once again at the YA jump pad. Needs that one last rail, and there it is.
What a clutch rail there by Zorak. He's got the Mega right below him. He's looking to see if he can find an angle. And he is going to drop down. He doesn't take the rail shot. He might be able to tie it up. Not quite. But the red's going to be up as well. He's got 60 seconds to tie the score. I'm very impressed by Zorak at this point.
He's still got Rapha on the run. Rapha cannot show up at any of these items, and Zorak is going to try to find him between these items now. Coming back up top, he's anticipating him going for the upper YA, and taking this jump pad will kind of play his hand out. He's only got 40 seconds to find Rapha, trap him, and make this frag happen.
It's tense for him at the moment. Top yellow's up. He's found a rail. Rapha, he might be stuck over here. He's going to jump over. Red is taken by Rapha, but he's going to go down. It's 6-6 with 30 seconds to go. Control still in the hands of Zorak. 1 yellow taken. Top yellow available for Zorak. He can try and stabilize right now. He's got to be able to chill.
Wow.
And then he can think this through.
With only Mega health essentially in the advantage right now, it might be to his benefits.
1 rail.
To try to push this into overtime. He's got 10 seconds, and he doesn't exactly have a god-tier stack, especially with that red armor taken, but that red armor is also taken away by Zorak's rail immediately.
He's going for it right now. He's taking the kill. Zorak is going to get the first map, 7-6. Wow.
Rapha just stood up there. He was wanting to be the king of the hill. He planted his feet. He thought he could take that fight.
He did not expect Zorak to have the guts, to have the balls to go up there into a fight, because Zorak's aim is not as impressive as Rapha's, but he's hitting 39% LG. His rail really carried him through. He wasn't even able to start making his comeback till there were 2.5 minutes left. So that was excellent play by Zorak.
I am pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to say at any point that, oh, he doesn't need to pick up items. He could just rail Rapha until he pushes him over. I mean, Rapha was able to cycle the items. I was like, okay, I took 3 rails, cool, but I'm going to take 2 more megas and 2 more reds in the meantime. But eventually, Zorak was actually able to push him over on full
I
tilt.
think Rapha maybe wasn't expecting that the comeback was going to happen so quickly at the end.
I'm actually surprised that Rapha was found so many times by Zorak in the latter 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that Rapha can kind of disappear at will. And in Sinister, it's actually, there are many places to kind of hide out and kind of burn some of the clock, burn a few seconds off and then maneuver to another spot and not really be seen. But Zorak was able to track him down.
He was moving on fast, and he was able to track down Rapha very well. Is that maybe because he's thinking about the player a bit more now? I don't know.
I'm also kind of curious about Rapha going up the jump pad to red during the last fight.
You guys might be excited about this map that we're about to start right now. It is Lost World. It is